Yes, I'm a grown man. And let's be honest, is there really anything wrong with letting out a little meow from time to time? I mean, not inherently. Probably not something you want to do at a job interview or around your parents, but you know, you get me. I'm gonna try to cut to the chase with this, okay? I got a problem. I made a video a while back called I Was Accidentally Clicker Trained, which, if you don't know who I am, or if you've never watched my videos before, it is sadly a very true story. In that video, I talk about pretty much exactly what you'd expect. Today, I have another slightly adjacent guilty pleasure of mine. It hurts my entire being to say this one out loud, but I have a thing for a little something called pet regression. I know that sounds like utter woke nonsense, but I can assure you that it's not what it looks like, okay? First off, I want to make it very clear that there is a big difference between the aforementioned pet regression, which is what I'm going to be talking about today, and this other unrelated thing called pet play, okay? If you don't know what either of these terms mean, basically, pet regression, as defined by Wiktionary, is the state in which a person temporarily adopts the mindset of or role plays as an animal, especially when done as a coping mechanism to relieve stress, anxiety, or trauma, or simply for recreational entertainment. That's pet regression. Now, pet play, on the other hand, folks, you're in for a real treat. Pet play is defined as a form of role play, sexual but not always, in which one or more players takes on the role of an animal, especially as the pet of another. Oop. Yep. Alright, that's a bit interesting. I want to preface that I am not going to talk about the latter, alright? Still, I feel like this whole pet regression thing is still a very interesting topic. So, let's jump into it. As a bit of context, I am a 6'3", 21-year-old man. That's M-A-N, man, okay? Still, I sometimes just wish I could be an adorable little cat boy that meows and purrs and gets constant pets and attention. I know it's weird, and I know I got a problem, okay? But look, alright, you gotta hear me out on this. After a long day of school or work, I get super freaking exhausted, and there is nothing I want to do more than just lay in bed and watch the time fly by. I just want to let loose, okay? I'm pretty sure that's something everybody can understand to at least some degree. After all is said and done at the end of the day, I barely even have enough energy to speak to people, and I assume you can kind of guess where this is going. I regret to say it, but I am what some would call a casual pet regressor. Yeesh. Especially when you've been talking to people practically all day, socializing is extremely hard when you're tired. Sometimes it's easier to just stop being you for a bit and adopt more of an abstract or simple personality in a way. And in my case, sometimes meowing is a lot easier than talking, okay? To be honest, I've known that I've liked pet regression since I was a kid, but I just never engage with it for the most part because it's, well, for lack of a better term, kind of weird and also embarrassing. And you know, I'm gonna be frank, for obvious reasons, this isn't exactly something I'm proud about. You know, I'm sure there are some people out there who could probably handle going around yelling and wearing a t-shirt that says pet regression is my superpower or something like that. But to be frank, I mean, that's just not really for me personally. In my situation, okay, I'd much rather engage in my shameful coping mechanism in shameful privacy, okay? But I suppose while we're here and I have a microphone that allows me to talk to thousands of people, I suppose I could give a teeny weeny smidge of my personal experience with it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, huh? As I said, since I was a kid, I always knew I liked acting like a cat or whatever, okay? And to be frank, it makes sense, okay? I mean, cats are adorable, generally relaxed, and overall pretty chill animals. So, you know, growing up, it made sense, okay? When I was a kid, I always had a lot of very particular and rather vivid memories of purring around my siblings. In addition, I also kind of remember rubbing my face on people like a cat would and then like meowing. And I think it went beyond just trying to play pretend or whatever like that. I genuinely really liked it, and it made me feel very happy and special and content and rather euphoric, okay? And you know, rightfully so, it kind of got on people's nerves. So as I got older, I started to learn that maybe this isn't something I should be doing around other people, so I mostly stopped for the most part. So yeah, lately, it's been mainly just a private thing that I do on my own. However, a few months ago, let's just say I was reunited with an old friend, and they kind of reignited that pet regression flame within me. Obviously not going to name any names or anything, but if you're watching the video, you know who you freaking are. okay? And I'm not sure whether or not I should thank you or ridicule you or cut you off or what, okay? I'm going through a rough time, okay? Dealing with some complex emotions. But ever since I talked with this person who kind of normalized meowing or whatever, just out loud, completely unprompted, there have been a lot of times that I've just started meowing at people online who are not this person, okay? Typically, I just try to play it off like it's a joke, you know what I mean? I try to say like, oh yeah, guys, I'm just joking around. I really don't know who I think I'm fooling with this, but you know, whatever. In addition, I've also joked a lot with people saying that I enjoy pet regressing. I say joking, even though I'm being 100% serious, I'm saying in kind of a jokey manner, so I'm not sure if they actually think I'm joking or what. If you're watching this video, man, and I told you that I liked pet regression at some point in the past, I just want you to know that I was 100% being serious. I was just trying to be funny, though, and trying to maybe test the waters and see if people would hate me for it. Not sure if they do or not, but you only live once, right? Overall, it's something I'm kind of ashamed about liking, so I normally don't go too deep with it. I mean, there are times that I'll joke around and maybe meow at people, or I might act a little more clingy or something towards someone, but in general, it's not really something I try to make a super public show about, okay? Other than maybe like talking to people online and pretending to joke about it, you know? I'm gonna be entirely honest with y'all. There is no other feeling quite like acting like a cat, okay? It's like you mixed joy with euphoria and made one big happiness smoothie with a cherry on top. It's beautiful, man. All throughout my entire body, I get these wonderful fuzzy feelings, and it makes me feel so freaking calm and happy and content with myself, man. It's like, I don't want to overshare or anything, okay, but it just makes me feel like such a happy, fluffy little kitty. Grown man, by the way. But yeah, it feels really nice, okay? And, you know, it just helps me to forget a lot of my responsibilities and worries and things that I don't really want to think about in general, you know what I mean? It helps a lot. And to be frank, it's kind of helped me to learn a lot about myself. It's helped me to learn a lot more about my personality, my desires, what exactly I want in, like, for example, a relationship or something like that. Not going to get too deep into that. I made a video before talking about that sort of thing. It was called I Want to Be Used Platonically. Not what it sounds like, by the way. I know it sounds kind of clickbaity, but I mean, it's the truth, but not like what you're thinking. You just kind of gotta watch it to get what I mean, okay? There are probably better ways out there to cope, like, I don't know, not being a freaking sissy about it, but hey, what can you do? I guess it ain't really hurting anybody, and I could normally just say it's a part of my sense of humor if they walk in on me meowing to someone on the phone, so I guess all is well. Also, in addition, it is kind of helping me in a way. Even though there's probably something better I could do, like going to therapy, for instance, it definitely helps alleviate some problems that I experience in my life, okay? But yeah, moral of the story, bro, sometimes a dude just feels like a cat. And honestly, vibes. Seriously though, I'm not gonna suggest pet regression to you, but if it's something you already do, try not to feel too ashamed about it. It's like, you know, sure, some people might think it's weird, but if it helps you feel more comfortable in your own skin and it isn't hurting anyone, keep doing what you're doing, man. Stuff is gonna get better, dude. Everything gonna be IE. In my personal experience, one thing that I've really enjoyed has been having a community of people who I can kind of joke about it with. Half joke about it, rather, I guess. It kind of makes it feel like it's a little bit more normal and like I don't have to feel ashamed about it. And honestly, I really freaking appreciate that. So if pet regression is something that you're into, then I would suggest the exact same thing. Try to find a community of people where they will accept it, okay? Obviously, don't be weird about it, okay? Try not to freaking groom anybody if you can. And yeah, I'm not exactly sure if I have very much to talk about, so I'm going to try to end it here. If you made it this far in the video, I want to let you know that I have a Discord server. If that sort of thing interests you, the link will be in the description. You can talk to the people, you can talk to my friends, you can talk to me even, dude. It will be a blast. So come on in, make yourself comfy, and let's get the show on the road. Also, take a look-see here. This is some fan art. as per usual, this stuff is freaking awesome. I'm gonna be honest, I got a bit of a surplus of fan art, but I could always use a little bit more. If you're an artist, come on in and draw something, dude. No pressure though. Last but not least, I want to mention that I have a channel membership. It is only $4.99 a month. You don't have to pay it if you don't want to, but I am just going to throw it out there. If you feel like you want to support me, then go ahead. If you don't want to support me, then don't. Simple enough, right? If this is the first video you've watched from me, definitely don't feel like you're required to freaking throw money at me. Believe me, I'll manage. I'll find a way. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. So without further ado, I shall see y'all in the next one. Bye!